What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing at the Kaplan runway 06. It is Friday, March 21st, 2025. It's a beautiful sunny day, albeit a bit more windy than previous days have been. It is promising to get warm today with temperatures upwards to 20 degrees in the middle of our country. That's 70 F. In the meantime, good evening, Maria, and goedemorgen, good morning to all others. Martin R, Ronald, Professional Jerry, Marianne, photo for you, Leon, Peter, good morning one and all. Paul, goedemorgen. Drew, good morning. So, a beautiful sunny day here with arrivals now taking place on runway 06 where we are standing next to. Embraer 190 arriving from London City coming in, Ada Blackburst. If all is well, we are going to see quite a few interesting airplanes. Let me show you right away. So, looking on flight radar, there are two 747s in Germany coming this way. Expected more or less around the same time. 10:38, the Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478 arriving from Dubai. Saudia expected a few minutes later, 10:46. Both are expected when there's only one runway open for arrival. So guess which runway it is they are going to land on most likely? Damn right, this one where we're standing next to. Emirates A380 is underway, is flying in Romania, is early today, ETA 12:05. Now, hopefully runway use will not change throughout the day because the wind is around easterly, so if it is from the northeast, the current configuration will remain in place. If it's becoming southeast, I'm not sure what's going to happen with runway use. I hope they're going to keep it the way it is. There's also cargo lugs coming in shortly before noon, so we have two airplanes. Two 747s coming in more or less within 10 minutes from one another, and the cargo lugs and the Emirates are also expected within 15 minutes of one another. So that's a second batch of airplanes coming in, and there's a third duo that I hope we can continue to wait for. They are expected shortly before 2 o'clock. Worth the wait. It's the Orange Pride and it is another 7478 from Atlas Air. Both are now expected at 1:48 p.m. Whether or not these last two are in the scope of today's stream remains to be seen. These four at least will be. There's also Jesus, but Jesus is not coming to the Netherlands, not at least on short notice. It's going from Glasgow to Malaga. So Jesus, unfortunately, not visiting the Netherlands today. Looking at the weather, this is the current situation. This is the runway heading we are standing next to. They're landing in the direction of 06. That means that there is headwind and a little bit wind from the side. The wind is 13 knots and is expected to increase even further later throughout the morning. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Right now we have a heavy coming in, Air Canada flight 808, 777-200 long range, arriving from Toronto. First of 3 consecutive heavies landing here. And good morning to all who have joined in the meantime. Carol, sorry, good morning. Redison Guy, good morning. Sir Lancelot, good morning. Maria, good morning. Daniel, goedemorgen. Pierre, good morning. Agent T970, guten Morgen, servus. En Visser, goedemorgen, good morning. Greet, goedemorgen. Danny, goedemorgen. It's me, Mike, good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Beautiful weather over here. Bit of high cirrus clouds in the sky. Firm wind blowing. Today, not in my parka, but in my vest. And wow, look at this. Crabbing airplanes on the glide slope to runway 06. Something we don't get to see very often, but it is windy even though you're not picking it up because of the blimp. crabbing airplanes into runway 06. Delta Airlines flight 872 is coming in next, arriving from Delhi, 787-10 Dreamliner, 8 hours and 21 minutes on the way, 5 years old. First flight of this airplane was in November 2019. Henk, goedemorgen. DB Baseman, good morning. Floris, goedemorgen kerel. Yvonne, goedemorgen. En Ton. Michel, goedemorgen. Liewe, goedemorgen kerel. Good to see you. Check it out. Crabbing arrivals here into runway 06. Something you don't see very often. This is KLM flight 598. 777-300 11 hours and 13 minutes on the way from Cape Town in South. This is the PHBVV. It is 4 years old. First flight was in December 2020. In the background, Finnair. Not an A350 today, sadly. It's an A321 arriving from bloody Helsinki. Flight 1301. Another KLM wide body is flying behind it somewhere. KLM flight 696 arriving from Toronto. Robert also back in the chat. Good morning, Robert. And good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and this is arrivals on runway 06. At the moment the only runway in use for arrivals. And it is actually windy. Not shockingly, but the TAF says we can expect winds of 15 knots with gusts up to 25 later in the day, so we'll see. Beetle asks if I can catch Tarom 737 in half an hour. Should be good because this is the only runway in use for arrivals. So if all is well, Tarom should be arriving on this runway. So if all is well, we've got you covered. Hey there, Hen Air, good morning. Mario, good morning. Janus, good morning. Raj, good morning. Mr. Blue Sky, good morning. Right, here we go. Crabbity crab. Lovely to see crabbing airplanes from this angle. Something you don't see very often. Finnair flight 1301 in the center, arriving from bloody Helsinki. KLM 777-200 arriving from Toronto, Canada. Behind it, KLM flight 696. So there are 3 747s, the Orange Pride and the A380 underway. The first duo of 747s expected in half an hour or so. Within the hour. No, wait, it was 10:40, wasn't it? Within an hour. Within an hour, the first 2 747s. Third 747. Oh no, it was 4, wasn't it? No, wait, did I count incorrectly? 4 Queens, 1 King, 1 Orange Pride. All before 1:50 p.m. Winthorpe, good morning. They are crabbing, absolutely. Lars, guten Morgen. Good to see you, mate. Where are you going today? Outbound action at the McDonald's now. Runway 09 is open as secondary runway for departures and the Polderbaan as primary. I'm expecting 36 right, the Aalsmeerbaan to become the secondary runway for arrivals as is normal when the wind is blowing from the north. Not entirely sure, Bezoek Bas hasn't updated yet, or at least it didn't before I went live, just shortly before going live. Hamish also back, good day to you, sir, welcome back. This is KLM flight 696, 777-200 arriving from Toronto, Canada. 6 hours and 40 minutes on the way. Oh, Accidentally smacked the camera screen closed. 18-year-old airplane, the 777. First flight March 2006. Martin, goedemorgen. Martijn, goedemorgen. Seal the deal, goedemorgen. Goedemorgen, good morning. Tim zit, good morning. Alex Bon, guten morgen. They call me Am, guten morgen. Or guten Abend in your case. Hadi Ricardo, goedemorgen. Hey, that would be nice, Lars. I'll have the coffee and the stroopwafels ready for you. Ronald, goedemorgen. Kinder safe, good morning. Jacob Krijger, goedemorgen, good morning. Bob, good evening, mate. Welcome back. Tjerk, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, one and all. It's an exciting show. We have a bit of wind. That means that the airplanes landing here on runway 06 are crabbing somewhat. Also interesting is what is underway. For those of you joining us later, have a look with me on Flight Radar. There are two 747s in German airspace already coming this way. One is expected at 10:38, the other at 10:44. They're landing on the runway we are standing next to, if all is well. The Emirates A380 is early. Its ETA is 12:03. From the other side, Cargolux is arriving from Miami, Florida. 10 minutes earlier, its ETA. So in 15 minutes, one Queen and the King. And if we are lucky and runway use doesn't change, around 1:45 to 2 p.m., one Cargolux and one Orange Pride. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. Plenty coming in. The airplanes are crabbing, the wind is blowing, the sun is shining. What more could you possibly want on a Friday? Ha, Diano, goedemorgen. Enrico, benvenuto. Good morning. Hassan, goedemorgen. Sparta Rotterdam, morgen. Koen, goedemorgen. Ari, Ohio gozaimasu, good morning. KLM, guten Morgen. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Freunde. Grazie Enrico. Aditina, goedemorgen. Now, a great many of you were always wondering, where are the ducks, where are the coots, where are the grebes? Well, bird life is happening over there. We have Russell over there doing some nitpicking. Butt shots from, are those ducks? Bit hard to see from over here. I think they are the ducks. Now we also have, and this looks much like a coot, or you guys see it better than I do. There are some aquatic birds in water over there, upstream. I'll leave it to you, the experts at home, to decide which birds, which airplanes, which birds these were. Lufty Flight 988 on the right, coming in from Frankfurt. A319 in the background, A330-200 KLM arriving from Vancouver, Canada. Hey there, John. Good morning. Hans, Old Dutch Spotter. Good morning. Ewald, goedemorgen. KLM Fly, good morning. Wagner, bom dia. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hadi Nick, goedemorgen. It's your daily dose of Lufthansa. Good morning, Andrew. Robert says Russell is waiting for his friends diverted from London Heathrow. Yeah. What a story going on over there. Hey there, Corin. Good morning. Ralf, guten Morgen. Herzlich willkommen. Boy, goedemorgen. The boys are back in town. God, I love these crabbing airplanes. It's lovely. A little bit of crosswind from the right for the airplanes coming this way. This is KLM Flight 682 arriving from Vancouver, Canada. That's a trip A330-200. 9 hours and 15 minutes on the way to get here. It's the PH AOB, the FWAB. More traffic on the left. A FWAB on the right. It's 19 years old. Delta Airlines Flight 74 is behind it on the far left. That's also an A330, A300. Kraai, 2 krakeenden en een meerkoet. There you go. Thank you so much, boy, for giving us the information. German Monster, Jinshin, aloha and good morning. Hey there, Donna, goedemorgen. And congratulations to you and Nick. Happy anniversary, Donna and Nick. Gluten morgen, Corin. Kidelp, good morning, good to see you again. Welcome back. Now, I think Michael is not in the chat yet, is he? Saw on the downwind a CRJ from SAS. No, that's Lufty. Apologies. Thought I recognized SAS, but I was wrong. It's on the downwind leg, it's coming this way. No. Keep moving the camera too far to the left initially. Now, what is this happening? The airplane that you see in the background, that's a 777-300ER, KLM Flight 702, which is also coming this way. But it has to create a bit more separation between the airplane preceding it on the glide slope, arriving from Bristol. So they're letting it take the scenic route. Yeah, Michael has been MIA, hasn't he? So the glide slope is over here. This is the EasyJet. That triple was a little bit too close to behind. And now they are letting it turn in so that there's a bit more spatial separation. The gear is already down, as you guys can see. This is Delta Airlines Flight 74 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. A330-300, as you guys can see. Pjotterke, goedemorgen. Werner, goedemorgen. Han, goedemorgen kerel. Henk, goedemorgen. Groeten terug naar Borculo. Peter, goedemorgen. Peter asks if I already saw airplanes coming in from Heathrow. The answer is no, I haven't. Not yet. Not yet. Right, so let me fix something on my tripod. There we go. Our next airplane coming in from Bristol. That's EasyJet flight 22912. And the 777-300 that is next to land after it is now turning in. Has to make haste a little bit because Turkish, at least looking on flight radar, already seems to be relatively close behind it. Peter asked if I already saw airplanes coming in from Heathrow. I don't recall having seen any yet. The airport was set to stay closed for the entirety of the day. So there's probably nothing coming this way anytime soon. Maybe diversions from long-haul airplanes that were already underway, but not sure. Right, so there were 7 that diverted, Leon says, but they all landed before 9 o'clock already. Yeah. Don't expect any new arrivals anytime soon, since everything is now already known everywhere. Hey there, Veldy, goedemorgen. Matt, goedemorgen. Asher, good morning. Quinten, goedemorgen, good morning. Alexander, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Also, a big thank you to M. Visser, who just now became a member of the Aurora Sky Lounge. Once again, thank you for your vote of confidence and renewing your membership. We kept your seat warm. Everything is still in the same place where you were used to finding it. Thank you so much for your support and for your vote of confidence. Good morning, Roman. And good morning to all others who have joined. KLM flight 702. Coming in from Buenos Aires. 12 hours and 40 minutes on the way. The PHBVI. 12-year-old airplane. First flight June 2012. It's a 777-300 Turkish flight 1951. Behind it. Also crabbing. Arriving from Istanbul, Turkey, A330-300, and there should be a Dreamliner 787-10 somewhere behind it, arriving from New York, JFK. Don't see it just yet. Will become apparent pretty soon, undoubtedly. Nice wheelie. Good morning, David. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Conquista, tuning in from Mombasa in Kenya. Welcome to the show, mate. Don't be afraid to say hi if you're new to the channel. It's not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Many people are watching, they're all friendly. No such thing as a stupid question. Two airplanes on the glide slope. Turkish flight 1951 is coming in from Istanbul as number 1. KLM flight 644 arriving from New York. JFK is coming in after that. That's a 787-10 Dreamliner. Mieke, goedemorgen. Lego Steve, good morning. Bom dia, JP. Turkish flight 1951 arriving from Istanbul, 3 hours and 4 minutes on the way, par for the course. 14-year-old airplane, first flight November 2010. So over here on the northern side of the cargo apron, there are 2 airplanes currently standing. 777 freighter on the left, Emirates in the new livery with the ribbon tail. And behind it, Air China Cargo and A330-200. Leo asks, how many eggs go into a dozen? That depends. Normal dozen or baker's dozen? Caleb, flight 644 is coming in from New York, JFK. 6 hours and 25 minutes on the way. The PH-BKH, which is 4 years old. First flight May 2020. The CRJ is now number 3 to arrive. I'm already using image stabilizer for those of you wondering. It's a bit windy, more windy than it was on earlier days. But that's nice, it's refreshing. It also causes a bit of shudder when following airplanes and zooming in a lot. It's now 10:08. I think there's another meter from 5 minutes to the hour. Let's have a quick look and see what has changed. It was 13 knots. I'm expecting maybe a bit more. No, still 13 knots. Okay. Still CAV okay. I'm not going to update the ticker just yet. Nothing substantial has changed. Maybe the temperature has risen 1 degree Celsius. Not worth the hassle. Nice glide slope shot over here with EasyJet on the left, no, on the right I mean. Arriving from London Gatwick, that's an A319. In the middle we have a CRJ. Behind it a 737 from KLM arriving from Paris. Good morning The Cat and good morning Q8. Good morning Dutch Flight Simmer and all the others who have joined in the meantime. Mark Hilton also back in the chat, good morning. Stranger also in the chat. What up Stranger? Mate, thank you so much for your super sticker there. Per character exaggeratedly stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. I'll happily accept your virtual cup of coffee there, stranger. Thank you so much for that. And happy Friday, mate. EasyJet arriving from London Gatwick, which is still open today. Robert asks about the camera. I'm using an XA60, which is basically an XA40, where I started out with only with a bit better specs. The camera screen, for instance, has a greater brightness, so it is more easily legible and easier to see when the sun is out. Other than that, it's more or less the same camera as I had in the beginning, just an upgrade. Good morning, Flight Devil, and good morning to all others. Alamin, good morning. Welcome back, mate. Good to see ya. Narrow bodies now for the time being. First CRJ of the day. Lufti flight 2302 arriving from Munich. 1 hour 18 minutes on the way. The airplane is 15 years old, first flight August 2009. Nice and floaty. There you go. Good morning, Wouter. Good morning, George. Good morning, Stephen. Howdy to you too, mate. K3. Bird control. On duty. Duty. Caleb flight 1402 is next, coming in from Paris, Paris-Charles de Gaulle. And that's a 737-800. Flight time between Paris and Amsterdam for this flight has been 45 minutes, and that is nominal, par for the course. There's always a 40 to 45 minutes of flight time between Paris and Amsterdam, Luxembourg and Amsterdam, and the London-based airports in Amsterdam. Good morning, Amelie. Benny Sharks, good morning. Top Cat, good morning. Planespotters Arnhem, good morning. Stranger says he saw my videos as some compilation videos. Yeah, I do sometimes get requests from bigger channels that make compilations if they can use the footage of certain videos and credit me in the video and in the video description and whatnot. Lucas, 3 minutes of aviation. As long as they kindly ask permission and credit me, I'm okay with it. So yeah, that can be, absolutely. There's a big plane coming, you can see it on the left. That is Delta Airlines Flight 90 arriving from Orlando, with another 777-200 arriving from Austin and Texas behind it. This is SAS Flight 1553 coming in from Stockholm. And this is Bra once again. Nice to see. Bit of change, bit of color. Seen the Bra airplanes, several of them, several occasions lately, last couple of weeks. 33 ein Drittel, guten Morgen. Herzlich willkommen. And thank you for the kind words. Now, if you look closely, you can see that the airplanes today are crabbing. There's a bit of crosswind for the airplanes landing here. I'm going over to the computer quickly and massively thank David Tesniak, who just now went ahead and gifted 10 memberships. That's 10 new members courtesy of David. I hope that everybody who just now received a gifted membership from David will enjoy it. There's 28 custom emojis that you have access to now for a month. Use them however you see fit. That goes for all members, new and old, gifted or non-gifted. So they're there for a reason, guys. Use them, abuse them, spam us to death with them if you will. Also, don't forget to say thank you to David if you are one of the recipients of his gifted memberships just now. David, thank you so much and welcome new members. There was also somebody who was wondering about Tarom. I see that it is flying in the background, a bit higher up on the downwind leg, so it's coming in. Patrick, goedemorgen. MK, goedemorgen. Elwa, goedemorgen. Marcel, goedemorgen. Robin, goedemorgen. Hey there, Jetstream's Journeys, good morning. Morning, Eddie, and all others. You are watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. this is the Karbaan, where we have a bit of crosswind, but headwind as well. 06, the primary runway for arrivals at the moment, and we have Queens, Kings and the Orange Pride coming in. Have a look on flight radar. The wind vis-a-vis the runway heading is looking like so there's crosswind and wind is above 10 knots, set to increase even later during the day. First 747 is already in Dutch airspace, Cathay Pacific Cargo, landing in minutes from now. 10:41 it's ETA. Saudia with an ETA of 10:44 is also in the vicinity. Cargolux is coming in from Miami, ETA 11:50, and 15 minutes later the Orange Pride, the A380 is also landing. The Orange Pride is also on the way, ETA 1:50, and Atlas Air has an ETA of 1:56. If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. Plenty more to see and hear here, including KLM Flight 668 arriving from Austin, Texas. Triple 7-200 and another heavy hitter is coming right behind this. This is KLM Flight 668 arriving from Austin, and American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia will be next. What's going on over there? That's a Qatar 777 freighter getting pushed back. I think we might get to see it traverse the runway later. More or less blue skies for the most part, but there are some cirrus clouds in the back, including in the southwest, and that's exactly where the camera is pointing to right now. Crabbing airplanes coming in, American Airlines Flight 204 in the foreground, KLM Flight 749 arriving from Cartagena behind it. Peter in Dutch says, just saw on BBC that Heathrow is very quiet and nothing is moving. Yeah, if there's no power, there's not much going on there. Very remarkable that this can happen. Hopefully they'll get things sorted pretty soon. Don't think it is going to affect us very much, not particularly since we are standing here filming arrivals. Those airplanes that were underway when it happened have been diverted and landed already, I think. Nothing is coming in from Heathrow until they've resolved the issue. David asks if I heard about the billions of euros upgrade at Amsterdam Schiphol. You mean for the new terminal buildings? Or are you referring to something different? Well, I heard about that, obviously. Yeah, yes I have. Long distance headshot here, Qatar 777. Good morning, Eloy. And good morning, Pixie. And good morning to all others. Yeah, they are going to construct new terminal buildings. I thought they were going to build a new A-pier, and I think it was supposed to be somewhere over there. I also thought they were going to expand the cargo apron, but I don't know the exact details. Also not sure about the expected timelines. Here in the Netherlands, construction usually takes very long. Or at least that's what I think. So In the meantime, our next airplane coming in is KLM flight 749, 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena. 9 hours and 15 minutes on the way. The PH BKG. It's 5 years old, first flight January 2020. Don't remember who it was. Somebody was asking about me filming Tarom's arrival. That is the second airplane after this, now number 3. Hey, something is up with the nose. One of the reasons that KLM is opting for a new update of their livery is so that they can paint the nose cones in just one color, instead of having to paint 3 colors on them. Bob, have you been drinking? Plane spotters facilities, come on. Schiphol group hates us. Particularly live streamers, because that means that they cannot control the information flow. If something is happening that reflects bad on Schiphol group, they want to control it as much as possible. Not that they can do much when somebody is recording something that is happening and is publishing it. But that's another story. Three airplanes on the glide slope. The number 2 is a bit lower than the number 3, but it is climbing now. Slow motion ballet, airplane ballet if you will. KLM flight 1918 is on the far right. Tarom is now number 2. And KLM arriving from Geneva 737 is now number 3. On the left, on the right we have number 190 and the other 2 are 737-800s. Boy asks, which website do you use for available runway and wind direction? Well, I have METAR for the weather. I use Windfinder for the expected winds. I use Bezoek Bus for the current for expected runway use, and I look at LVNL for the current runway use. Now, often Bezoek Bus is not updated yet about the wind and runway use after 9:20 before I am heading out to a location, so often have to make educated guesses about which runways are going to be used. Sometimes I'm wrong, often I'm right. Perseus, Nania, what a name. Love the channel. Thank you so much for the kind words, Perseus. Like the name and thank you for the kind words. Glad that you are enjoying the channel. I hope everybody is. Don't forget to leave a like if you are enjoying the content but haven't already. It helps to bring in new people like yourselves who are into streams such as these but who haven't heard of AMS Live yet. We're still a small channel in the big universe of YouTube with much more potential, and if you want to help me reach that potential, a like will go a long way. Ah, the website with the blue and the compass, that's metertough.com, I think. Here we have Tarom coming in from Bucharest, 737-800, flight 361. Why? That's why, indeed. Thank you, Maria, for sharing the link. That's the website with the blue compass and whatnot, boy. Joris asks about what time I'm going to stay live for. That depends on runway use, mostly. The Orange Pride is still expected shortly before 2, and there's also a 747 expected around that time. I'm hoping we can catch those as last airplanes of the show. Nothing is ever certain here, including runway use. Right, 737 arrival from Geneva, KLM flight 1930. In the meantime, Qatar is continuing this way and will traverse the runway at some point. It's coming this way. Right, even when I fixate the pen and tilt axes, you can still see there's still shudder vibrations from the wind. Indeed, Martin, planes are just like Pokemons, gotta catch them all. There's always another airplane that you are unable to catch, of course. But it's a nice thing to strive to. And Jay says that the Qatar was told by ATC to expect 2 more landings before crossing. So there's probably going to be a gap between the next airplane and the EasyJet that is now number 2, flying behind this airplane. Yeah, it looks like it. This is KLM flight 1352 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. It's number 175, as you can see. How can you tell? You might be wondering. Look at the winglets. They are taller than the Embraer 190s. They are more outward standing instead of upward standing. The airplane itself is a bit smaller, but the winglets, at least to me, are usually the easiest visual cue that you can see it is an Embraer 175 or an Embraer 190. If your Embraer or suspected Embraer does not have any winglets at all, you might be dealing with an E2 Embraer. Right, I guess Qatar says sod it, and I am crossing anyway. That's cool. Hey, Qatar A350 arriving from Doha. Its sibling, the sibling of the airplane that just now traversed the runway. It's going to land here. It's now on the downwind leg, and it's sort of a sneak preview of what to expect in minutes from now. Hadi Adri, goedemorgen. En Adriaan, goedemorgen. Me, myself, goedemorgen. EasyJet A320neo coming in from London Stansted. Apologies, that is an A320 Neorio. Now there's also a 747 coming this way, passing overhead pretty soon. So somewhere over there, there is the preceding airplane. That is, got it. That's the Transavia. And if all is well, yep, here we go. Lovely. The first queen of the show on her downwind leg, flying over center of Amsterdam. Hey, interesting airplane also coming in from Madrid, an A350 from World to Fly. Not under the moniker of Corendon. Here we go. Delta Airlines flight 236 coming in next, arriving from Tampa in Florida. 8 hours and 12 minutes underway. November 816 November Whiskey, 18 years old, first flight March 2007. The airplane that you see behind it is an A350. World to fly. You might be wondering, hey, is the airplane crabbing? Yes, they are. There is a bit of crosswind. David also wonders if you see many airplanes flying overhead. It depends on the day. Hey, they're redirecting the Queen. They're redirecting the Queen. There she is. That's interesting. Already see that the slats are extended. The inner and outer, so their flap settings already a bit further advanced. Not all three slats extend simultaneously during the first flap setting. Interesting how that works on 747s. Also, when the reversers are being applied, you see that the slats are retracting and come back out again once the reverse thrust is terminated. Hadi Gerard, goedemorgen. Hey Paul, Mr. Biker also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back. Hope all is well. This is World to Fly. And not Corendon World to Fly, but it says here just regular World to Fly, arriving from Madrid, A350, 900, 1 hour, 43 minutes on the way. Although it does say Corendon. Although it does say Corendon on the tin. A 1-year-old airplane, first flight May 2023. Hadi Jacco, goedemorgen. Good morning one and all. World to Fly is Spanish, David, but Corendon is Dutch. Regarding how many airplanes do you see overhead, there are some contrails visible here and there. Don't think that all airplanes flying overhead produce contrails. It's altitude dependent and relative humidity. But there are, and I hope I can show you, there's also a third one, yeah, a bit smaller. So there's definitely some that you can see, although at times there are more in the sky. I don't know if we can see everything that is now passing overhead. I don't think that everything passing overhead is producing a contrail right now. All is well over here, Paul. Thank you for asking. Lovely weather here. Although, truth be told, I have put on my regular fingerless gloves. But then again, most of you know my hands are susceptible to get really cold really quickly. It's the wind predominantly that is causing it. I'm standing here with my vest and just my jeans on otherwise, so it's set to become 19 to 20 degrees in the center of the Netherlands, a bit warmer in the south, a bit cooler in the north, so that's around 70 F if you are used to Fahrenheit. Not sure about the upcoming weekend though. Showers expected here and there. I don't know the details yet, so I hope that my Saturday and Sunday streams can go through. Croatia Airlines, flight 450, arriving from Zagreb. It's an A319. Quick look at the touchdown and then it's back to see the Qatar A350 coming in. There we go, Qatar A350, the one that we saw pass overhead earlier. And you can also see an airplane below it turning in. That's from the west. That is Transavia flight 6610 arriving from Innsbruck. Quite a few wide bodies are approaching. Second Queen also not far out. For those of you wondering, we have a great show with 747s coming in. There are 2 now in the vicinity. One will turn in on the glide slope pretty soon. Saudia not far away, also in Dutch airspace already. Cargolux expected 10 minutes past noon, and 5 minutes past noon the Emirates is coming, so might get to see back-to-back glide slope shot there. Atlas is coming in, its ETA is 152, and the Orange Pride is also coming in, its ETA is 148. So the airplanes of interest are coming in duos today. And I forgot to set to lock the tilt axis with the wind. That's not a good idea. Lesson learned. Apologies. Qatar flight 275 arriving from Doha. That's an A350. Second A350 of the show. Local flight radar left of Schiphol. KLM flight 836 and 758 are flying very close to one another. they need all the room they can get to get all the airplanes in. There's just one runway open and it's getting a bit crowded by the looks of it on flight radar. Singapore airplanes, the airplane arriving from Singapore being delayed. Queenie already in the foreground. And we have an airplane that is cutting in line. That is the Embraer 190 from KLM, arriving from London City. The Queen is now number 3. This is the glide slope with numbers 1 through 3. Alan, good morning. Remco, goedemorgen. Good morning all others who have joined. Welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. The first Queen is about to land. The second will follow in minutes. This is Transavia coming in from Innsbruck. Flight 6610. Flight time 1 hour 18 minutes. PHHXA. Bump, bump. Alrighty. The airplane preceding the Queen is not going to get much love here today because we are following Queenie. Queenie is number 1 of potentially 4 if the runway use does not change. Cathay Pacific Cargo, arriving from Dubai World Center, flight 2067. That's a 7478, 8 hours and 14 minutes on the way. Registration Bravo Lima Juliet Golf. The airplane is 13 years old. Its first flight was in February 2012. Before it, and on the audio pretty soon, is KLM flight 980 arriving from London City. That's an Embraer 190 coming in from London City, which is still operational today. If you guys are enjoying the show so far and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. It really helps to promote the channel's content to new viewers like yourselves who are into streams such as these, but who haven't heard of AMS Live yet. Grow our awesome community even bigger. Delta Airlines flight 56 arriving from Salt Lake City is behind Queenie. Hey there, Sergey. Good morning. So, it's busy. ATC is busy fitting all the airplanes that want to land on Schiphol, at Schiphol, fitting them into the pattern. Only one runway open until approximately 11. I'm expecting runway 36 left, no right, to open up a secondary runway. On the far left, the next airplane after this, Delta Airlines Flight 56, arriving from Salt Lake City. But first, Queen Numero Uno, Cathay Pacific Cargo, arriving from Dubai World Center, 7478. Whoa! That looked like a bit of a rough landing. A firm plant. Well said, Jesse. Definitely sticks to landing. All right, that was terrific. Two narrow bodies coming in next. Two wide bodies, apologies, and then a narrow body. Transavia arriving from Pisa. Yeah, probably another few kilograms on of rubber on the runway. Runway 09 is being used for departures. Bulgaria Air A220 by the looks of it. And the Queen is coming this way. Long distance headshot in the making. Dreint sich ein Drittel, says Hope. My amp was not on that one. How do you want your amp? Shaken, not stirred. Oef, guten Morgen. Patrick, good morning. And welcome to the show. All others who have joined us in the meantime. Jan, goedemorgen. Let's quickly turn back. Delta Airlines Flight 56 coming in from Salt Lake City. Goedemorgen, John, Dutch Canadian. Good morning, Phil. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome, one and all. Sander, goedemorgen, kerel. Are we going to see a combo shot where the Queen that is going to land in minutes from now is also going to be behind it? Probably not. Yeah, it's already turning in. There goes our headshot. Yellow cars everywhere. They're coming to get me. Oh wait, no. Maybe. Yeah. Still a bit of headshot over there. Oh, lovely Sander. Vogelenzang, beautiful area. Waterleiding Duingebied is also very nice. If you ever been. Coming in next, KLM Flight 758 arriving from Panama City. That's a 787-10 Dreamliner. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Carlos. Let's turn around and have a look. Another Queenie is expected, and there she is. Look at this. A crooked, crabby glide slope shot. Here we go. Transavia flight 5426 in the foreground, arriving from Pisa. KLM 777-300 flight 836 arriving from Singapore, which probably has a bit of delay. Normally we don't get to see it before the show, or during the show I should say. Saudia flight 933 arriving from Jeddah. That's the next airplane. After that, that's Queen number 2. And we're not done yet. After that, more is coming. Take in this pretty glide slope shot, folks. In the meantime, I am updating the ticker. It is 15 degrees, it is still Cavoquet, and the wind is still blowing from the northwest, but now with 12 knots instead of 13. I'm updating the METAR for you guys. It hasn't changed significantly, just the temperature and the wind speed mostly. Also a massive big thank you to John Dutch Canadian, who just now went ahead, gifted 5 members a membership. Mate, thank you so much for your generosity. You didn't have to do that, you know that, but you went ahead and did it anyway. Welcome to the Aurora Skyline Zoo members. Use the custom emojis that you now have access to your heart's desire. Spamming is not allowed, but you are allowed to use custom emojis as much as you want. Don't forget to say thank you to John for your gifted membership. John, thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Skylounge new members. Now, airplanes preceding Quad Squad members usually don't get much love here at AMS Live, but this is a 777. It's a 300 arriving from Singapore, quickly going to follow its landing. Steven says planes won't look straight in the camera or at the camera. Yeah, they're camera shy, just like grebes are. Grebes immediately dive under. Airplanes begin to crab. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Queen number 2, Saudia flight 933. Saudia cargo, operated by Air Atlanta Europe. What? Registration 9H AKF. This is a 747-400 freighter. Flight time 6 hours and 10 minutes. She's 30 years old already, ladies and gentlemen. First flight of this airplane was in December 1994. And I had just begun middle school then. I think I was 12. What were you guys doing back then? Stephen wonders about the whereabouts of Lise. She is now working, has begun in a new job here in the Netherlands a couple of weeks ago. So that means she won't be in the chat as frequently as you were used to. She did say that she was going to try to join briefly during her lunch break later today, but Right now she is at work. What a beautiful landing, eh, folks? Plenty more coming, so if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. Let me show you what is still in the sky coming this way. Looking on flight radar, we can see, if we go to flight radar, that the Queens have now landed. Airplanes of interest come in duos today. This was the first duo in the last 10 minutes. The next duo is expected around noon. 10 past noon, another Cargolux 747 arriving from Miami. And 5 past noon, the Emirates A380 is expected. Both are expected to land here on this runway. There is another duo coming. Atlas Air 152, KLM Orange Pride 148. Now, whether or not we are going to see these airplanes depends on runway use. At the moment, let me refresh. This is now runway use. So there's also landings taking place on the center runway because it is still before before noon. Now runway 09 is used as primary runway for departures. Interesting to see. The wind today is blowing from the northeast, and for the runway we are standing next to, click. Why isn't it working? That's weird. Oh yeah, well, there you go. This is now the wind. Mostly headwind, but not completely. There's also crosswind. It's still cavalcade. So that is very interesting today. Duos of airplanes coming in. If this runway is going to stay in use for arrivals, we are going to see more Kings, more Queens, and the Orange Pride, hopefully. In the meantime, a massive big thank you to John Dutch Canadian, who just now went ahead and gifted 10 memberships. Another 10 more members courtesy of you, John, and that is amazing. That is very generous of you. Thank you so much for your generosity. You didn't have to do that, but you went ahead and did it anyway. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Don't forget to say thank you to John if you just received a membership from him. Also, don't forget to use the custom emojis and enjoy the membership. Also, that goes for all members, new and old, gifted or non-gifted. Those custom emojis are there for a reason. There's 28 of them. Use them however you see fit. In the meantime, good morning to all who have joined. I see that Evan is also back in the chat. Top of the morning, senor. Hope all is doing well. Hope all is well with you. Good morning, Chris. Phoenix official, good morning. Michael, goedemorgen. Tobias, good morning. Venix is asking, which website do you use to see what runway is open? There's actually two I can show you briefly. So, current runway use is the LVNL website. That's the Air Traffic Control Netherlands website. I'll paste the link in the chat for you guys. And you can see the current runway use and past runway use. You can also go back in time and date. If you want to see the expected runway use, there's the website called Bezoek Bas. It's not always right, mind you, but it does give a good indication of the runway use that you can expect. Over here it says verwacht baangebruik in Dutch. That means expected runway use. And if you click on it, you can see what runways are expected to be open for landings and for departures from when till when. Mind you, this is not always accurate. It often is a bit wrong. So you have to take note of that, but generally speaking, it does give a good indication of what you can expect. Anyway, let us continue with the airplanes. That's what you're here for after all. Next coming in is EasyJet A319, arriving from Persenchester. Good morning, Andy G, Quint, and all the others. Peter or Peter. Peter waarschijnlijk. Probably Peter. Next up, the lipstick plane that Sander already saw earlier. It is Norwegian with the Miguel de Cervantes livery, although the picture shows a blank tail, so I'm not sure about it. It's arriving from Stockholm. Flight time 1 hour 43 minutes. The airplane is 9 years old. Registration SERPS, which sounds like a disease, doesn't it? Oh, I'm at home. I've got SERPS. SERPS. That's the registration of this airplane. It is 9 years old. First flight January 2016. And indeed a blank tail. And Stephen, aka JPN, says this is an outstanding location. It certainly is. When there's arrivals or departures in the morning hours, the lighting here is the best. There always used to be an issue with parking here. Lately I found out that on weekdays I am actually able to park my car here, although there aren't a lot of spaces. Guess I might have been lucky a couple of times. That's always the bottleneck during weekdays over here, because there's not an actual parking place with ample space where you can park. There are a few places where you can park, but it's almost always occupied by people who work here at the nearby companies that are situated over here. SLM leaves Polder now, Ton says. Let's see. Is that it? I think it is. Yeah, that's the A340-600. Thanks for the update, Ton. Indeed, stranger, the man on the tail got cancelled. Norwegian cancel culture. There you go. And congratulations, Dexys, who is finally green. That was KLM A321. Coming in from Paris-Charles de Gaulle. Next coming in is beautiful Ita Blue. Absolutely the best, in my humble opinion. And it's also my favorite airplane of the airplanes that Ita brings to the Netherlands. The Bombardier C series, aka the A220. Hey, Abhishek, good morning. Quinn says, SERPS sounds like a mutation of herpes. Yeah. Isn't there also... Yeah, no, you've got SARS and you've got MERS. It's like SARS and MERS... The SARS and MERS viruses have fused and have created offspring. You're also back in the chat. Good to see you, JD. What is up, mate? A person on the internet, good morning. Diamond Painting Teun, goedemorgen. Ronald, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing alongside runway 06, where there's a bit of crosswind. The airplanes are landing here with a bit of crabbiness, although it does look like it was more pronounced in the beginning of the stream. This is ITA Airways flight 120, A220-100, Bombardier C series arriving from Milan. And just look at how beautiful this airplane is in the sunshine. And have you guys ever noticed the details that are on the tail of the livery? You need good lighting to see it. It's actually more intricate than you think at first glance. Happy Friday to you too, Jörg. Hope all is well. There's a Chinese triple coming in as number 3, being preceded by 2 narrow bodies, an Embraer 175 arriving from Southampton first. And after that, an A320neo that is coming in from Edinburgh. Sup, bruh? The Chinese triple is still flying in the vicinity of Leiden. Can we see it already, I wonder? I think the trees are in the way. It's probably a bit lower, but yeah. We'll see it soon enough, no worries. Mieke, goedemorgen. Richard, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, all the others who joined in the meantime. Three duos of interest. Three duos of interest are arriving today. The first duo has already landed. And another triple is giving us a long distance headshot. Two queens have already landed. And the next duo is approaching. Emirates ETA 1203, Cargolux ETA 1210. Atlas Air ETA 156 and Orange Pride ETA 148. A refresh of the weather will tell us that the wind is now once again 13 knots. There is 16 degrees of temperature here. Wind facing the pilot's landing here is crosswind, 13 knots. It's otherwise CAV, nothing to see here. So if all is well, we are going to see two more queens, the A380 and the Orange Pride, all before 2 o'clock. If the runway use doesn't change significantly, and this runway is going to stay in use for arrivals, that is. Now, before turning back and watching the next airplanes coming in, including the triple from China. There we go. I saw that Alex Bon 787 just now gifted 5 memberships. Alex, thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Don't forget to say thank you to Alex if you are one of the 5 members who just now got gifted a membership. Mate, above and beyond, you didn't have to do that, but you went ahead and did it anyway. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Alex, thank you so much. Vielen Dank. Dankeschön. And I see that Gratje is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Ahoy, hoy. Happy Friday to you all. Hey there, Vandien. I hope I pronounced that somewhat properly. Alex also has to leave, mate. That is so unfortunate. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully we'll see you later in the stream. If not later today, then hopefully we'll see you in one of the other upcoming streams. Let me turn around now for that other 777 that is coming this way. That is China Cargo Airlines. Here it is. China Cargo Airlines Flight 209 arriving from Shanghai in China. 11 hours and 37 minutes underway. Registration is the Bravo 222 November. More twos if you look at the airplane's age, 2 years old, first flight October 2022. Question is, of course, where is it going to park? On the north side of the cargo apron or on the south side? The south side is where the Qatar triple just now departed from. The north side is where the Emirates and the Air China Cargo are. It's over there. Still room on both sides, so we'll see. I think it might be coming to the north side, so that's the left hand side from over here. Right. Big picture overview. Mostly blue sky. This is looking to the north. This is looking to the west. This is looking to the east. This is looking to the south. It looks like there are some cirrus clouds further away, all around me, on all sides. But over here, things are okay. There are contrails visible here and there. Don't see anything in the immediate vicinity. This is all flying pretty far to the south already, east to west. And something west to east. And you can see that runway 09 is also open for departures. Is this daily? The D-A-I-L-Y, I think it might be. The A319 Lufty that we saw land here earlier. KLM flight 1076 arriving from Bristol, here to land. I also see that Play is arriving. Play is now flying over Zandvoort. It's a beach town just west of Haarlem and in line with Haarlem and Amsterdam. If you go to the coast, if you draw a line towards the coast, you'll find Zandvoort. Something coming this way. I'm inclined to say that this is a narrow body from BA. Another airplane is a bit further behind and a bit further to the south by the looks of it. Looks like it also has a blue underside, so probably as well another BA. In the meantime, next airplane coming in over here, flying on behalf of KLM, German Airways. Arriving from Stuttgart, KLM flight 1828, and this is the Herpa Derpa Derpa, going viral with herpes for 75 years. Flight time from Stuttgart, 1 hour and 7 minutes. Herpa Derpa Derpa. So the Chinese triple is coming this way. Might still traverse the runway. We've seen that happen before as well. But my guess would be that it's going to park on the north side of the apron. Wind on the scale of flag currently looks like this. Here we have another glide slope shot. 3 airplanes coming this way, all narrow bodies. KLM flight 1268 arriving from Copenhagen, 737-800 on the far right. And then the rightmost of the two on the left side is KLM flight 1198 arriving from Oslo. That's a 737-900. On the far left is EasyJet A320neo arriving from Geneva. Hey, Josegi is also back in the chat, tuning in from Nairobi in Kenya. Good morning, mate. Welcome back, mate. So it is 11:11 now, and ordinarily we should have 2 runways in use for arrivals. Yeah, and it looks like center is now being used for arrivals. That's interesting. I'm thinking on paper we should be able to see those airplanes. This is a glide slope shot of the center runway where we are standing right in line with. This is the UB A320 coming in from Erbil and the G arriving from Athens behind it. A320neo. That is amazing. 2 glide slope shots, 1 location. That's sweet. And the KLM Sky Team 737-900 coming in from Oslo. There it is. UB Airlines Flight 423 operated by BH Air coming in from Erbil in Iraq. Now, in the meantime, celebrations. He already mentioned it, and now with a highlighted message, congratulations and thank you for your ongoing support, Dexus. Another member has gone green, a year of membership, green. It's green, they say. Outstanding streams, boy, Dexus writes. Mate, thank you so much for your continued support. I'm happy to hear that you're still happy and enjoying the streams. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. That also goes for Dirk on Tour, who is celebrating 10 months of membership and writes in Dutch, onwards to a year. Mates, thank you both so much for your support. Hope you guys still like it in the lounge. Do let me know if either of you don't think something is no longer to your liking. And let me see what I can do then to fix it. So center is now being used as secondary runway for arrivals. This was an A320neo arriving from Geneva. Good morning, Pate. And good morning, Temba Pani Diaries. Bom dia, Wagner. Fastro Dashine. Good to see you again, mate. So yeah, airplanes landing on center now. Center N06. Let's update the ticker with that runway use then. Departures now 09 exclusively then. And arrival 06. And 36C for the time being. In the meantime, crabbing airplanes coming in. KLM flight 1056 arriving from Norwich. That's number 190 with an A319 behind it. EasyJet flight 28679 arriving from London Gatwick. Third airplane to come in. Playtime, folks. Already visible on the far left. Barely. So don't go anywhere. This is Britty Hopper flying on behalf of KLM. And Bro 190. Now I'm unable to follow everything coming in. If something interesting is landing on center, let me know, because as you guys could see, we are able to see the glide slope quite well from over here. And thank you for the update, Adriaan 747 and Ton. Coming right in the zenith. 7478 Lufty. Yeah, I have to keep it zoomed out. This is the highest my tripod can go in this angle. And there it is. Now I can gradually begin to lower the camera, almost completely in the zenith. Hey, what are you doing? Wop, 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 wop. And away he goes. Away he goes. That's interesting information, Leo. Leo says that around 11:40 they are going to stop with landing on 06. If that's the case, we are going to wrap up the stream really early. I hope you're wrong. Also, Dirk Contour, Dirk Bauer, thank you so much for your PayPal donation, which I received notification of. For more great streams, greetings Dirk Contour. Dirk, dankjewel, thank you so much for your kind words and for your generous PayPal donation just now. Thank you so much, mate. This is Play. Play flight 460 arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. Would be interesting if they are going to stop using this runway for arrivals. Don't really see with the prevailing wind why they would do so. Seems that something big just now departed from 09, and that is Air Europa. Air Europa Dreamliner. Now I am very curious as to why Bezoekbus says that runway 06 is going to be stopped being used. There's also a couple of contrails coming from left and right. Let's have a quick look. Is that Finnair or something? And then there's the contrail over here, closest by. That's another narrow body by the looks of it. I'm curious to see what the runway use is going to be like. Let's have a quick look on the Bezoekbus to see what they are saying. Because I'm not sure what they are going to do if they are going to close the runway. So what they are now saying is that from 11:40 they are going to start on 09 and they are going to land on 18 left and start on 18 left and 09 and land on center. That's interesting. It says here that the Kaagbaan is going to close at 11:40. The wind is now blowing from the east more or less. So yeah, a north-south configuration also makes sense. Even though on paper the wind is still favorable to use 06 for arrivals. The wind is now 13 knots, so yeah, interesting to see what is going to happen. Might well be that the runway is going to close pretty soon and the stream is over prematurely. Now, let's see. Sarah also back in the chat. Good to see you, Sarah. Good morning. This is KLM flight 1030 arriving from Person Chester. Right. So, Bezoek Bus says that this runway is going to close in 20 minutes from now. Whether or not that's going to go through remains to be seen. If that is the case, we are not going to see the Orange Pride. We are not going to see the two Queens. We are not going to see the Emirates A380. They're both expected, or no, one of the Queens and the Emirates A380 are the next Quad Squad members. They are expected shortly past noon. KLM flight 1042 arriving from Birmingham, 737-800. KLM flight 1136, another 737-800 behind it. Right, let's see, we have KLM flight 1136 coming in first. The second airplane coming in is KLM flight 636. That's the 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Las Vegas. In the meantime, Sarah is celebrating 16 months of membership and she writes, "It has been a fun ride." It certainly has from my end as well. Thank you so much for your continued support, Sarah. Hope you still like it in the lounge. Do let me know if something is no longer to your liking or if we are running out of stuff. I'll put it on the groceries list then. But thank you so much, Sarah, for your ongoing support. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Hope you're going to stick around for many more months to come. If not as a member, then hopefully at least as a regular, frequent viewer. Recurring visitor. More properly. Captain Eddie Bos is also back in the chat. Good to see ya. Saw something from the corner of my eye. Wonder what it was. Styrofoam floating in the water over here. Now there's also contrails here and there in the sky. Something coming my way, not too far away. This is that jet you guys were mentioning in the chat, isn't it? Flying relatively close by, luckily. Not producing a very big contrail compared with other airplanes. This is KLM flight 636 arriving from Las Vegas. That's the 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Las Vegas. A 707 with 4 737 engines. Is that so? Right, well, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. Bezoek Bus says that the runway we are standing next to is going to close, even though there's pretty much headwind for the airplanes over here. CFM 56s. Another quad squad is also coming this way, flying near the sun. the two airplanes that you are seeing in the background are an Embraer 190 on the right, Embraer 175 on the left. The trash airplane is turning in, the Transavia 8H, arriving from Barcelona. There it is, turning in. Crabby arrivals. KLM flight 912, arriving from Aberdeen. This is German Airways, flying on behalf of KLM from Scotland. Flight time 1 hour 12 minutes. The Damwo, 17 years old, first flight somewhere in 2008, the month not specified. Quad-engined airplane, now flying further away from the sun, clearly visible over here. A340 Lufti. Next airplane to arrive, KLM flight 1174. It's number 175, arriving from Stavanger. The airplane has been underway for 1 hour and 15 minutes. The PHEXX, 7 years old, first flight February 2018. An Austrian has landed, by the looks of it. Transavia flight 5132 is next, arriving from Barcelona. It's the trash flight number. On the right. Flight time 1 hour 38 minutes, 7-year-old airplane, the PHHXG, that's Hotel X-Ray Golf. First flight was in March 2017. And the airplane that you see behind it on the left is a KLM A330 arriving from Bonaire, flight 765. Hey there Noah Jens, groeten terug, Grüße nach Duisburg. So whether or not the runway is going to stay open is interesting. It's going to be interesting. Would be really weird with current wind direction that they are going to close the Kaarbaan for arrivals. But then again, you never know with Schiphol Airport. This is, after all, one of the two preferential runways together with the Polderbaan. Two airplanes visible. KLM flight 765 closest by. Air France flight 1500, that's a Bombardier C-Series 300 behind it. And the airplane that you saw in the bottom, now behind the trees more or less, that's KLM flight 924, That's an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Edinburgh. This is KLM flight 765. It's an A330-300 arriving from Bonaire. 9 hours and a minute underway. Fuck D. That's a nice way, a polite way to say piss off. Fuck D. Is 12 years old. First flight March 2012. It's nice to know that the pilots just now have been called retard. And Lars standing next to me hopes the runway stays open. Yeah, I hope so too. You never know for sure with Schiphol. For now it seems that there are still plenty of airplanes turning in, but yeah. Will the traffic inflow dry up come 11:40? Air France flight 1500, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, Bombardier C-Series 300, aka the A220. Flight time 42 minutes. The Verhuset is 2 years old. First flight January 2023. Oh, that's the A350 in the carbon fiber look. We've seen that one before. That is a looker. Lucky combo shot there. That is a beautiful airplane. Milan is tuning in from Stafford. Good morning, mate. And DJ Danny Remaster also back in the chat. Good to see ya. Adi, goedemorgen. Good morning all others who have joined us. You're watching AMS Live, but for how much longer remains to be seen. Bezoek bus is indicating that from 11:40 onwards, runway 06, the runway we are standing next to, is going to stay closed. Don't know why, because this runway is ideally situated for dealing with the current wind for arriving traffic. So yeah, we'll have to see what is going to happen pretty soon. This is KLM flight 924 arriving from Edinburgh. E2, clearly audible and visible. Flight time 1 hour 12 minutes. The PH NXI, 3 years old, first flight February 2022. Next airplane coming in is a KLM flight 1164 arriving from Bergen. Is anybody watching what is going on Bezoek Bus, the website, I mean, where the runway assignments are visible? KLM flight 17404, for instance, which runway has it been assigned to? Or Sky Express coming in from Izmir. So it looks like the Emirates triple is fully loaded up. And good to see you, Reginaldo. Bom dia. Adrian says 3 more arrivals and then it's done. Is everything else going to center? The imminent closure of runway 06. Anyway, EasyJet coming in from Liverpool now, A320. Paul's checking it out. I'm curious. Dear Contour says KLM flight 984 is assigned to Polderbaan for landing. 984, where is it flying? Don't see it right away. Over the North Sea. Right. That doesn't bode well. And KLM flight 706 for instance, and 792 that are now arriving from the southwest. (792) also to the Polderbaan. 706 probably as well then. KLM flight 1704 arriving from Brussels, still over the coast, seems to be flying towards the Polderbaan already. This was probably the last airplane then. Motherfuckers. Right, everything that you see in the sky right now is going to the Polderbaan and to the center runway. I think we just now witnessed the last landing of today's show. It seems that even though this runway is well situated for the prevailing wind, they are opting for a different runway configuration. I think showtime's over, guys. Bezoek Bus was already indicating it, and this is probably confirmation of it. A380 assigned to Polder. Yeah, it's almost 12 o'clock, so they are going to open it up again. I think we're done here today, guys. I'm not sure. Curious to see what the wind is going to do tomorrow. I hope it's not similar to what it is today. Let's see, this is Windfinder. Looks like it is a bit similar tomorrow. Maybe a little bit from the southwest. Whether or not it's going to rain remains to be seen. It looks cloudy here. I'm not sure if it is going... It doesn't say that there's going to be any rain. Let's have a look while we're at it. What's the 24-hour extrapolation? Oh, extrapolation saying. Right. Doesn't show very significant rain tomorrow morning, so probably am going out then again. If it is cloudy, then the solar panels aren't going to intervene with visibility for arrivals on Polderbaan, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe runway use is going to be Polderbaan arrivals and center arrivals. Right. I'm going to wrap up, guys, because it doesn't look like the runway is going to be used anytime soon. Bezoek bus already clearly indicating no more 06 in the charts for the upcoming hours. So yeah, guess I'm done early. Didn't plan for it. I'm a bit disappointed. Sorry to let you guys down. This is just yeah, ATC and wind that isn't very stable in coming in from one direction. Hopefully I'll see you guys. Yeah, you can already see the Aalsmeerbaan is in use for the departures. So yeah, nothing is going to happen here in the upcoming hours. I'm going to call it quits for today. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Apologies that it ended prematurely. Hopefully tomorrow it will be better. For now, a big thank you to everybody for joining me here. If you like the stream and you haven't already, consider leaving another like. It really helps to bring in new people like yourselves who are into streams such as these, but who haven't heard of AMS Live yet. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. A massive big thank you for all the support. Thanks for the gifted memberships, for becoming a member yourself, PayPal donations, merch store purchases and whatnot. Mods, a big thank you to you as well for keeping the chat friendly and accessible to all. I'm going to see you all later, hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to say bye for now. Enjoy the sunshine if it is shining. Stay warm, stay safe. See you soon.